We had 2-2-0s today, but of course that NA matchup, it was going to go to the third map. Welcome back everybody to VALORANT Ascension Americas, where we just saw M80 once again do what they always do on Icebox, right? They look confident, great. I mean, they were feeling themselves a little bit more than usual, standing up, screaming. I want to know what they were saying to the TSM guys.
Oh, I think I read some lips at one point or another. Em and I were laughing about it, but no, you're absolutely right. They look fired up. You can tell just like the intensity in the server, their energy, the amount of just the way they're playing just feels a lot more constructed in the second map. I think they've realized that this matchup is not going to be free, and they've dialed it in. But I mean, I do want to remind us that Icebox is one of M80's best maps. It has continued to prove to be so. They showed it here again. It is probably their most versatile map in terms of everyone's role being extremely clean on the map, and here they showed it again versus TSM.
It's really cool also because every time we see this map of Icebox on the set of M80, we see different pieces getting the chance to shine and pop off M80. And it feels like this one was a game where it was very cohesive, very coordinated for the side of M80. And it also allowed Nismo to go off.
Oh yeah, Nismo really needed this to just kind of gain that confidence back, because we heard him say that he hasn't been playing to his full potential from his own thoughts. But here he totally disproved that. He got an ace on one round, another round he won a 1v3 clutch on pistol. Two really crucial rounds for his team. They won 5 out of 6 of their post plants in comparison to TSM, who only won 3 out of 7. But overall, I do have to say that shout out to Net, because I appreciate teammates like that stand up after an insane clutch and banter and support your teammate Nismo. So shout out to Net for that.
Yeah, I mean, they're supporting not only in the game, but they're also supporting on the outside by picking up the slack. They've both of them popped off. Nismo and Net have had an outstanding game. But I do also want to point to the fact that in that map, I think the structure of M80 got really shown or displayed in the best way possible, where Nismo was constantly setting up Koala. So many of the rounds on defense side started with these set plays, these sort of early gimmicks that allowed Koala to get so many first bloods, and it's all down to Nismo. And on top of that, dude almost got 2 aces. Like, okay, what can't the guy do at this point?
On top of that, Nismo, I believe, had 17 assists. So he's doing the full shebang, the full KO characteristics. And that's the Nismo that we all know and love. And I'm so happy for them. I'm really glad, I don't know about you guys, but that the series is going to go to 3 maps, because this is one that we knew was going to be neck to neck. I'm worried for TSM because that wasn't really a close game. I felt like it was very much in M80's hand. But I want to give a shout out to GMD though. I felt like he was really going in there, not being afraid to kind of force a trade. So he really was trying his best, but like you were saying, Roy, M80 was just on fire. It was kind of too difficult to play against for Icebox.
They were getting fired up. They were standing up, as we saw, and I love to see this version of Net too, because we said towards the beginning that M80 was the most quiet, chill team that we've seen on stage so far. But now things are changing, because you're going against TSM especially. I feel like that's what's really firing you up to do those kind of things. And it's going to continue until the last map. But we talked about Nismo, Emily, and they were the 2 rounds that you mentioned. Let's take a look at them, because they were so impactful to see how this map was going to go for them.
Oh yeah, Nismo was using not only his aim and really snappiness here, but also his util. You could only see the headshots here. Not afraid to take the battles, and the way that he was using the walls and how he was peeking. I don't know, I felt like that was really nice, how he's just not wide swinging into multiple people at the same time. So really smart on him, and just overall really good rounds that we saw.
And something that I want to know as well, because both of you have played in the past, both of you have been competitors in the past. I want to know, Roy, from your side, when you're fired up and when you have so much energy for that second map, how do you make sure that this M80 squad, if you were on that side, you're able to keep it for that third map of Haven?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously every team is completely unique, but for me, there's always a point in which, like, we can't past this too much, or we're like overstimulated, right? Like, you kind of need to, yeah, it's good to be excited, it's good to be happy, but you don't want to like continuously overheat just because we're feeling ourselves and start to throw away advantages and stuff like that, right? So like, yeah, you had a great second map, but you do need to stay locked in. You do need to make sure you're mentally in the game the entire time on this third map, because anything could happen.
and looking at this map of Haven, not only emotionally, but looking at the past results as well, Roy, I'm so interested to see how it's going to play out, because recently for TSM, they played this map against Reta, and this is a map that they lost 13-5 in a similar fashion to what we just saw on Icebox. So it's a map that hasn't been really looking good for them, and they need to step it up if they want to win this matchup.
Yeah, TSM has been 13-5 twice on this map with 2 different compositions. They had the Neon at one point, then they swapped to the Jet, and they got 13-5 with both of these attempts. And I'm not really inspired by their Haven, to be honest. I'm actually a little bit nervous for them, because Haven is one of M80's best maps as well. They've been really good on it. They haven't dropped it in a while. They have a very good composition. It fits their playstyle. It fits their identity super well. And I get, a part of me is sort of nervous for TSM, but again, it is TSM. At any point, they could be leveling up. They always play up to the pressure. They never play down from that.
And I gotta be honest, honestly, from the beginning, when we saw this TSM on Sunset all the way back, I was also a little bit nervous for them, and they were able to prove us wrong, and they were able to close out that map. So that is kind of what is going to take Emily to make sure that it happens again, and it would mean the world for them, because we mentioned it, they need these wins, and it would be amazing to be able to win against this M80 that everybody's putting #1, and they continue to be that undefeated team.
Yeah, M80 was looking so good after that second map, but like you said, TSM really needs this win to just ultimately prove themselves. And if they want a chance at that, they kind of got to take a look at what worked for them on Sunset. I thought that Roy had a good point where it was very brawly. It was very back-to-back, trade after trade, and just kind of not letting M80 do their M80 things of having their coordinated retakes and their floods. They weren't allowing that type of control from M80 on Sunset. If they're going to want a chance on Haven, I think that's something that they have to consider. Maybe consider baiting out the utility from M80 early on and forcing them to not have much to work with later on. That might be a good opportunity for them.
Yeah, I like that. I think Haven is also a super good map for that. There's so many layers of map control, right? You have to take garage, you have to take mid, you have to take A. There's like 2 separate paths you need to take on A. So I think in that regard, TSM has a lot of room to find the areas, at least the key areas that they want to fight in, and kind of bring the fight to M80. And of course, there's so much versatility with how you want to approach your defense and how you want to approach your attack that I think TSM could find a solution versus M80's really strong Haven.
Are we feeling like this is going to be one of those maps where Sim is going to go on the Neon, is going to be able to shine that way? Because it seems like that has been the win condition for a lot of the teams that we've seen in Ascension. A lot of the teams running this Neon on Haven, getting away with it and being able to exploit how aggressive you can go with the Neon. But it also feels like it's an M80 that is very calm and coordinated. They know how to deal with those kind of opportunities and scenarios that the other team is looking for. So I'm wondering, is this going to be the opportunity and the chance for Sim to be able to shine with that Neon, if that's going to be what the composition is going to look like, Emily?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, because it is common for teams to have 2 different agent pools for one particular map, because you're playing against different teams, right? So you have to be able to adjust your gameplay and your ideas around them. They're going against M80. I kind of feel like both could work. Sim on the op could really shut down these long angles that we see from both C and A against M80. But like you were saying, Dryad, that the Neon is something that could be what I was saying, of overwhelming them, of just flooding them out, just kind of applying pressure, I guess is what I want to say, to M80. But M80's on fire. I mean, you could tell from their faces that they're still staying dialed in and focused, because we were talking about their energy, Roy, of how well they can conserve it going into map 3.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these teams are absolute beasts. They're all very experienced. Don't be fooled by their age. Don't be fooled by how young they look. They're veterans in almost every way. Even the youngest players in the server have been competing for years at this point. So I think in terms of energy, they're good to go. But I also do want to talk about the Haven side, where when we see the compositions here in a moment, that one thing that TSM did extremely well on the first map that allowed them to win was the counter utility in the pulse plants, was disrupting M80's kind of like flow in these retake scenarios. And I think this is one of those maps that is exactly like that. There's a lot of utility from the breach, especially with the Neon as well. There's so much counter utility, and there's so many ways that just like interrupt M80's flow and kind of get them to be a little bit disjointed, that I think TSM, that could be the key for a victory here for them.
And we have the answer right there. Is the TSM going with Sim on the Neon, Emily?
Yes, you were right. So Neon was the decision by them, and it's not a bad one. They have the Breach on Poise and Sim on Neon combo, which is extremely strong. And again, I think this is a good opportunity to bait out util from M80.
Well, let's find out who's going to get the win of this third map. With your casters is Keg and Tenrek.
Thanks again, Dryad. We go once more to Sim. Once again on the Neon, once again it's asked, can he come through with these contests the way that TSM has asked him to? On Reyna, had a lot more trouble on it this time, Keg. Coming into Haven, their third map, a map where TSM has not been faring super well this tournament. The hope is that Sim will level up along with the rest of this squad to give us a competitive map 3.
I think there's going to be a lot more room for Sim to walk around it, or I should say literally run around on this map, having 3 sites. With the help of Poise utility as well, it'll be much easier to control various lanes to allow someone like Sim to take backside control and push up. Early B-side flat goes down early. It's going to be a utility dump everywhere for M80, but instead they opt to go for the fights. Only 3 left alive, though, for both teams. And look at this, though. Look at Net's positioning. He's way far away. And a Proto. Round 1 has the lurk of a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, yes. All according to my plan. This was the exact little something that we expected TSM to be doing on this Haven attack. Koala Noob, nice step back into the smoke to at least trade 1-for-1. But a Protoss flank will finally find some purchase to turn this to a 1v1 in the blink of an eye. Poise does have a fault line to at least stall once, but that's all he's got. I gotta take the fight otherwise, and Net does not want to buckle that easily. Poise, though, is able to waste enough time, and there's no way Net can do anything more than just get the kill. TSM open with a win on the pistol, something they are very much used to.
Very solid first round from TSM. Pretty textbook taking pistol B site with a Breach in Neon. Fast backside control, great to take over one of the connecting lanes, taking those early fights. Even if it leads to an early death, you're still good for 1, you reduce bodies, and the most important thing, what makes this push more unique, is that you're allowing a Proto to get that extra distance in the C without having to take a fight. He was good to sneak up, and while he was only good for 1 fight, he still had so much impact, reducing the numbers of M80 and putting doubts in their minds. M80 had the buy up this round. Sim once again over-investing into the Vandal. He's been very good about holding on to these round 2 Vandals. He's yet to lose them. But M80, especially Koala, holding this corner, waiting for Nismo's utility could be devastating.
Poise ready, watching. Yeah, TSM will not fall for it this time. They will be as precise as they need to completely take over. Nice shots, VCJ. Good stuff. To at least grab the 1, but 7 can spray through the smoke and give TSM their second round quite convincingly.
Yep, Vandal repicked up too after Sim had lost it.
Yes.
So it wasn't a complete waste, which is good. TSM now having to face M80 on their full rifle round. This is where things start to get very interesting. Because again, the crux of TSM's attack will be based around Sim and his Neon. You need to think about the stall. This is a great IGLing map because you have 3 sites and there's a lot of abilities for rotations. Now, in case you didn't watch map 1 or 2, there was a lot of rotations in those 2 site maps. With 3 here, M80 will have to prioritize defending 1 site and letting go of another, at least having more of a bare bones setup. There's 2 bodies on C, a wealth of utility back on B side for the connectors, and Garage doesn't have much. Split push to C, already read into by M80. They're backing away for the retake.
Yeah. It's making the sacrifices you have to make on defense in lieu of what you have to do, which is shut down pushes like that from Sim. The shot's not lined up. Xander will take an alternate angle, join the crew over in Garage as M80 once again prepare for the retake. Net will be killed. It's a matter of when and how much he can take along with him. The answer is 1 body. M80 yet again, another wave surges forward, and it will be a far more powerful one. Koala Noob stopped early on the wide sink. Gimon not yet taken care of, and a Proto the swings outside. TSM have so much more than M80 bargained for, already ready and waiting. And inside this smoke, GMD continues to sit, wait for the perfect time. BCJ wins that first spray and a recon bolt to force a Proto to make a tough choice. It will be to run into Spike. Half of it proc. BCJ lines it up. And a Proto could not stall forever. M80 again barely scrape away the bonus round with a Zippo clutch.
One hell of a clutch right there. Beautiful from BCJ. I got so nervous with the smoke timings and just the equip of the Vandal at the very end. I'm sure we'll see in the replay. It gets so nerve-wracking. Oh, well, we saw a little bit of it. It's nerve-wracking having that timing of that gun coming back out. And BCJ had played that perfectly, of course. A wealth of international experience to go against that as well. It's up to M80 now to play this much more aggressively. Don't give any space to TSM and destroy their economy this round. Oh, but Seven's got the Odin. They don't need to peek out immediately. Could just sit and wait. Spray down B main. Xander has a beautiful angle here. Will this be read into? All omens love to peek this.
There's no way GMD isn't ready for this from Xander.
Cover going out.
And with the rest of TSM approaching, someone's gonna have to light this popsicle stand sooner or later. Oh, BCJ, the owl drone. This is the moment for GMD to light it up. One gone, knows BCJ is here as well, and he could shut him down too. Xander now having to wait to take the fight as the rest of TSM approach site, and he can't do any of that because there's just too bloody much of them. TSM fully take over A site as well as the round.
Great timing overall. The distraction factor of GMD waiting and the small factor. And again, I'm sure we'll see this in the replay. Owl drone had come out, peeked the jet, realized the Sova still needed to be really close by behind that wall. Made sure to go for the fights accordingly and not get traded out. Sim, can you take this fight? The answer is yes. Net falls and M80. They tried to destroy the economy of TSM this round, but it backfired in spades. The Odin especially still kept for TSM's possession.
Yeah, a massive leapfrog here for TSM as they will force so many more integral rounds so much earlier on to M80. A lot of big decisions being made. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a timeout here already, although might have to wait one more round. Oh, did I do it?
No.
Mom, did I do it?
Very good.
No, darn it. Okay.
Good try, good try.
Thank you.
It'll probably come out here if M80 don't convert this next round.
If they drop this, it's gotta come out.
Yeah, but to be fair though, they are on an eco. Sometimes you'll see teams go for the pause, eco, and then go for their strat change, but depends on the team.
Stack here for lobby, but TSM, I mean, with Seven's pre-fire, they've given a lot of this away, the fact that they're still over here. So M80, I mean, they're ready to take this fight. There's a lot just waiting for it. TSM, I think they've also read this, that there's going to be this approach from lane, and they're waiting to see if M80 actually springs the trap. Yeah, please don't give more kills to Seven right now, who is on the verge of grabbing this Hunter's Fury. Instead, rush in, try to stun, and do an okay job, but now Seven's Odin is back, the time window is gone, and everybody on M80 is going to die. Xander trying to get away to at least get a different angle and can shut down Seven, but that's only 2 bodies confirmed for M80 here, as Net stands alone, 23 HP, and a lot of work to do on the remainder of TSM. It's a good attempt, a lot of chip damage, but unfortunately not enough this time.
Man, this is scary territory now for M80. Sim, Neon available, the Hunter's Fury of 7 gained off of the Odin this past round too. Sticking to A side this round.
30 seconds
Plant should
left.
go down. Good acquisition of the Odin afterwards. A Proto and Sim are low on HP. There is a world of an attempt here from Net.
Yeah.
Only needs 1
Spike
kill.
planted.
Can go for the lockdown. Not much to counter besides Sim's ult.
Everyone gonna go play lane.
He's one shot.
They don't want to hand a thing to Net here. They want to get in, get the kill, get out. Great clearing done from Net this entire way through. He's had to do this on every single angle on this map. Sewer's up next, just as Sim gets over there. That is tragic timing for him. But he's got to press this a little bit. Trapwire forces him to just hang back on site. And with Sim at the ready, this should be a done deal. And that is not to stare this down. And Sim is going to take initiative. Might as well spot to see if someone is here at this point. And Net is. TSM will wrap up round 5.
There was definitely a scenario, but I love that Tripwire placed up so early. Well, yeah, I suppose early into A main. Having shoot that Tripwire, get caught by it somehow. You'd see the double swing come by from 2 remaining members of TSM. Sim would be there for the follow-up. It was a checkmate. There's not much Net could have done there. However, This next round, if I'm TSM, I'm looking to see if Net will use that lockdown on a big, massive buy. Koala also, operator in play. Oh, there's a lot of
that's
ults
why
here. It's so important for the economy, but
yeah.
Koala misses the op shot.
Yeah. They're going to pressure B and Garage heavy here. You already see Net having to use all of this util. They want to make sure that this lockdown can't happen. And, oh, Sim! Huge attempt to make it happen. What a cross-up to get all the way around to the back of Garage, but they're ready for it. TSM luckily uses that space that Sim opened up to take over C-Site, and that is when Net will let this lockdown go, as well as a couple kills in the feed. He may be a little more necessary than we really remarked for, though, is him gone. TSM can still play for this post plant, which they've managed to get down, and Poise is also good for one. Koala Noob, good coverage to save the face of Nismo and M80, who will be able to grab their second round of the game.
That killed?
What?
The knife kill on the GMD.
Did that not hit his head?
It did, but like there was no sounds or anything. I thought for sure
it was like a quiet.
Yeah,
knife,
I was like, whoa, like a. But yeah, I mean, great retake coming out from M80 overall. Big fear factor though was using that lockdown. You need to keep those guns alive.
Yeah.
The economy's not in a great spot for M80, but it will have a little bit more in the back pocket because of winning this round. But not a lot was invested from TSM's end. They've been able to snowball this a lot longer. 4 ults available. And looking at that Rolling Thunder, by Poised, easy A site control if need be. Stack up on A's been called. M80 are trying to play for the delay to make sure no space can be given to TSM on site. They want them to rotate into that up. The Koala has set up B. That smoke is the line in the sand. Once you pass that point, there may be no coming back. Nismo, Rolling Thunder, BCJ, the Hunter's Fury himself. A gigantic spiderweb set up. And TSM, they seem aptly aware of this and do not want to push further.
All that attention paid. They knew that lane was going to be their safe bet, but only for so long. For all they know, Koala Noob could be set up from that farther angle as well.
Oh, but look
You
at the
see the
distance
pings,
here.
you see the trail. They're going to blaze their way into C-Site yet again, this time more fully through Garage. They got to do the same thing they did last time, despite the fact that no one is here. And it'll lead to people from M80 being able to intercept a little early. Full-blown Rolling Thunder on a C-Site here, but that doesn't catch Net, which means he's able to catch Sim, and now BCJ, Hunter's Fury from cross-map, can play for time even harder. M80, early shutdowns lead to TSM questioning themselves on site, but with no early contest from M80, they still will be able to at least get this spike down before the real fight comes.
Spike planted.
Rolling Thunder still available.
There it is. Scurry back into Garage. On spot for a Proto, who grabs 3 through the smoke. What a spray to suddenly, completely eviscerate M80. TSM make it 5-2, and all they need to do is what M80 was doing all damn season.
That's such a scary round for M80 to lose. Oh, that is not a happy camper. That was such a well set up round 2. The stall factor on A site, the pressure to move your team into C site. That is exactly what M80 wanted. And as soon as that call for all of the KJ util and Garage was made, Hunter's Fury already rerouted and pushed up, ready to detonate and find impact. The Rolling Thunder set up for the post plant, but missed op shots, missed kills, and the Rolling Thunder, frankly, missing a lot of its impact.
Yeah.
It was read into by TSM as soon as that spike had gone down. Beeline into Garage. They're not going to ult that. And a Proto got a 3K of a lifetime. A series of small micro misplays from M80 crumbled that round away. That was so necessary.
Yeah. Amazing macro reads from TSM here on the attack. They really have this read so far. And M80 response has been what we've asked of them, and response is what they've lacked in for this half so far. TSM, the sites that they've been defaulting, the sites that they've been recycling have not been custom. M80 so used to pile driving A site or playing for the late retake with some help up a flank up C lane. They are running out of resources, and they are running into new options that TSM is bringing to the table. Beautifully, I may add.
Keep in mind, too, Koala had used Bladestorm a few rounds ago. Not available here. Can't invest in an extra weapon.
Do M80 commit to this? To what degree do you? Xander's paranoia here tends to be tantamount to catching value in M80's defenses.
Just one footstep.
There's the jump, and Sim will initiate into a storm, and yet still catches Xander. Remainder of M80 gonna try and take over lane with just GMD on the run back, and they are a freight train trying to get through lobby door. They're just gonna full on three-piece into GMD. They do not give a care, and BCJ, despite being alone for a nanosecond, uses it to take down the Omen, grab himself an extra gun, and make this post plant a little more interesting, a little more M80, I may say. Koala Noob lights up, shot onto 7. Now a 4v2 with guns in tow. Net catching the back of poised. Koala Noob catching his front. And a Proto stands alone this time around. M80 should have this in the bag to make it a 5-3. Deep in they gun. A Proto locks in 2 disgusting domes. But that's all he'll have to settle for. M80 make it 3-5.
Thrifty.
Proto's been a raid boss so far. This map has scared us quite a few times now. What started off kind of disastrous for M80 with that early pick against Xander turned into a blessing off of small timing differences on this retrack back over to B site. That could have gone from bad to worse. But again, the confidence plays came through from M80 side, playing together as a team, focusing less on the macro and more so on the individual fights and converting those out. Something. Getting headshots.
Yeah, give the responsibility to M80 members. That's really what a lot of this is facilitate these hero moments that M80 has been winning on. Oh, Sim, immediate jump in. He is hungry for the action this time, and the Nano Swarms are going to stop him, but 7 will track down BCJ with that Hunter's Fury, and TSM will finally electrify A-Site.
Oh, this is going to be hard for the retake off of Koala, and off when everything is so colorful and you can't see anything through that scope. All of TSM have taken A-side control, especially Hell. No ults for the retake. Nismo, full utility. And a paranoia to boot.
Koala Noob, the rush in. Good time wasted, but still felled. Rest of M80 trying to drop in. They see the window, and it's neglected. That's their time gone. That's their opportunity. And they will relent. TSM will get themselves to 6.
This op has not found much impact on this defense for M80.
No.
TSM have been guesstimating pretty well not to push into it. The fact that Koala had started on C-side, pathed his way over to A, had to hand off the op to Net to push in and attempt to go for the retake. It's just extra steps unnecessary. So where will it live into this next round? Will Net hold on to it, or is Koala going to maintain it? I mean, more often than not, it's going to go back to Koala, but to be honest with you, I'd rather see him on the Vandal this map.
Agreed. I think Koala would do so much better with the Vandal. I think he would feel so much more confident walking up mid and just taking fights, which is what, again, M80 really needs to try pushing, I think. Just have that confidence that you are better mechanically, that you are better aim-wise, and use that as often as possible. Cash that in as many times as you can.
Impact?
An immediate fault line. What a great read from TSM. Out gets Koala Noob, but in goes all of TSM, and Sim just gets to waltz into the back for free. Spray and pray into the link, and Koala Noob is felled before he even gets to walk back in the door. Xander will walk in the door, though, through Garage, and grab a quick 3. That is the magic of M80's hero moments, and they've taken back C-Site without a moment's notice. Net now going to Proto, not far behind, and Xander rounds things out with 4. M80 excitably get us back to a 4-6 game.
Xander's the best player of all time. Like, unbelievable consistency. This is ridiculous, man. That was 100% around for TSM again. They had done everything right. They had the early read on Koala's up. They knew exactly where he was going to be positioned. They pressured him out. That was the main tool of stall on the C-site. Just not happening, I guess, with Xander. There's always another factor to worry about on M80's side. A timeout's been called. But frankly, TSM's looking great. They have 6 rounds, On the attacker side, you know, they're not faltering. You want to gain as many as you can on a map like Haven. At best, M80 can go 6-6. But after this tack pause, you can tell TSM are looking to maximize their attacking rounds.
Absolutely.
This isn't just for strategy. They need 8-4.
Yeah, they really need every single round they can get. Historically, this tournament, and even outside of it, their attack half has been mediocre. Their defense half, classically, even worse.
But this is a level up.
Truly. And I feel that everyone on TSM really has the right idea on how to take on this matchup specifically. I think Sim's going to get so active in lane when this defense starts up. I don't think he's going to have any fear at all. I think we're going to see way heavier stacks when we get up to the front line, because TSM, they're going to feed into this fear. They're going to scarecrow M80 into a 13-round game and get themselves up to their second win of Ascension. They are 7 rounds away from our 3rd upset of the day, baby. How nice it would feel to have a 2 seed be the one to actually be the victor today. But M80, again, something to say about it. Not just yet in C-Site, though, as the exec reigns through again. Sim back on for free.
Look at the ult economy of M80. One pick from a wealth of players could drastically alter the retake. It's about grouping together, though. Operator still in the hands of Koala Noob. Has Blade Storm available. Could be good for the entry here. 2 rounds left. Sacrifice it. There's an Odin available for both teams. They could pierce so much of this site.
Time a-wasting, and Net finds the first shot onto Sim. A lockdown as well that he had to protect. And that's the first half of this done. Now to just play keep away. Force the shots to not be enough. Koala Noob locks in on the operator and will be the body that holds it down for the remainder. M80 will make the post plant work and get to 5-6.
Just great solid communication overall there. Nat getting that opening pick, saying, hey, look, I've got the lockdown. Let me go for this Koala, you cover me. And utilizing the lockdown and C-Site long in tandem with the operator to win the round. And, you know, there's nothing complex about that either. You see that all the time. But the fact of the matter is that any pick seen by M80 could have drastically altered what that initiating ultimate could have been, and who's placed what and where, and most importantly, the effectiveness of that operator. Luckily, though, it was used out well. M80, 1 round away from converting things to an even half. B-side could be the way to go. Perfect opportunity now to line up that spike post plant with 7's Odin backside. Or should I say back in the window.
Going through the rigmarole, it seems that TSM investing even less in the pre-plant this time. Seems that M80 really just wants to play after the spike is down. A couple bits of slowdown utilized by the defenders, but that's all before the spike is planted.
7 stopped playing window. Instead, aiming through the brown box to have the perfect angle for the diffuser.
Have that straight with the Odin. One half of the door completely rounded away. It's the other half that Sim's inside, and he can't get anything done with it. M80 again. So much firepower, but the spike is in a pretty safe spot, and 7 has a pretty safe one too. 2v1 that can just be sprayed into. Koala has to take the fight, and he can't. TSM have enough to hold on to, and they will hold on to the half as well. 7-5 is the score going into what needs to be the best half TSM have had this tournament.
These small calls made by TSM, the setups they have pre and post plant, the communication looking so fantastic. And M80, their communication's been great too, but TSM, they're electrifying, they're vibrant. They know exactly what they need to do to accomplish things, but now they go to the defense. That can be very scary with a Neon on your team. It's easy to fall into the trap to overheat, similar to how it is for a defensive jet to fall into the trap of an operator well wielded out and not finding much impact. Sim cannot let up from the gas pedal. He needs to have that utility support in the hands of the rest of his teammates. They are so close to converting a series desperately needed to stay inside of Ascension and take down the only undefeated Titan. They only need a few more rounds to do it.
The weight of the world on this Neon's shoulders, and he's got to run a PB with it. Meanwhile, M80 looking to again hold on to that first seed while not sacrificing too much of the playbook. At this point, though, the bloodletting is clear. The dent has been made. And if M80's attack does not show up on the pistol round, they may be forced to break out the playoff caliber strats.
Oh, jeez. You mentioned a PB needed for TSM. From where they're at in the standings, they need an any percent to stay alive. Anything, really. They looked so good in the first day. And then 2 days in a row of coming so close, yet so far. What will the plan be? The opening tempo here is going to be so important for these next few rounds. Already, M80 opting to put the majority of their forces towards A site. Speed difference. Remember, Koala, Sim, Jet, Neon, very different. There is that Cypher too on a Proto. More stall capabilities.
Early discipline from M80. Going for control of lobby. Koala, nasty shot to kick us off.
Hey, I know that angle.
Nothing to twist
Saw
the
that
knife
earlier.
just yet. Oh yeah. No, we're not unfamiliar at this point. No one on M80 is, especially with this attack. Get ready to rinse and repeat this A plant. Get ready for TSM to fail to read it for 5 straight rounds.
Less than a minute left now. GMD not watching that angle. Similar to Xander did. A 3-pick though.
Saw it. Great timing, huge damage onto BCJ. Paranoia for the slowdown, but now has to pay attention to main. Rest of TSM is here and ready to fight. That's the bonus of having the Neon on your squad, is that your intercepts are far stronger. And so M80 with 40 seconds to go, they say this fight is not worth taking. Let's get out of here. TSM responds by just keeping GMD available, and he can find net. And now he's got a little more work to do still. M80 hovering around this lobby, and GMD spotted Koala Noob. Kill number 2 for the Jet this round, and it's given ample space for Xander to now take over this A site. A Proto, no chance the guy is watching here. Absolutely not. M80, beautiful double back onto the A site that we always knew they were going to. Easy takeover from there. No way for Sim to be able to get all 3 of these in such little time, and it'll be an M80 pistol round to keep them stable in the attack half.
Big props to BCJ for the fake owl drone B main at the late round. But just enough time for the reset with no utility, no presence on A. To sell the owl drone, keep that Neon, keep the breach around B. Make it seem like that's where the last second execute would go in from, and slowly reroute your way back. Could have been a lot more devious had it not been for the re-clear of a Proto. But he had to make sure to double check and say, okay, hold on, something's not right. A fantastic round from M80, but they still need one more to clutch it up. This is going to be a hard save from TSM. They can afford it. As much economy as they can hold on to, as things could become even here. But remember, this is Haven. This could be a tricky map. Closed quarters, condensed, B main push. I mean, there's a shorty already available and some utility. This could still benefit pistols if M80 play this horribly wrong.
Inching into B site. Nothing else gained. No knowledge of how much commitment TSM has put into this round. But it's clear enough.
Spike planted.
No one in the vicinity to fight. GMD some pot shots with the Sheriff, but that's all he can hope for before the rest of the team scurries on back. M80 should be able to outstretch from here and take down each member of TSM if they decide to reveal themselves. I don't think many of them will, though. Hanging outside the doorways.
Here.
They'll be letting this round go, and we will indeed tie things up 7-7.
Yeah, at this point, just playing for the spike, making sure you don't feed orbs to M80. Could have been a very different round had we seen even utility usage from Poise deep down below inside of sewers. Go for it. Oh, no.
Here.
Okay. One step closer to the neural theft. Oh. Ugh. Well, there goes the outlaw. Oh, okay. Come on. I was like, nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
But,
Like me in my ranked games.
yeah, continuing to stay clean for this start for M80, and that's what we expect out of this attack. It is so well practiced, so clean, so perfectly timed. Didn't lose a single attack round of the 5 they played against Reta. Positive against Galeries. This is where they reside, because they haven't been allowed to play Lotus most of the tournament.
I wonder why. And you know, that brings up an interesting point too, is that the stall factor for M80 has not been as strong as I thought it would be in this tournament. TSM, they play pretty brawly too back in Challengers, and yet M80 had their number every time.
Yeah.
Now, M80 are going to be playing slow. They don't need the stall that much anymore into the late round post-plant. Sim not seeing a single person right under his nose. Poised, has the utility for the stall. The timing is there. All it takes is a quick reswing. You have to look at BCJ though. Can he help with the trades?
Koala gets on top, passing that tripwire. Has to farm this kill against Poised quick, or at least distract him long enough for the rest of the team to get here. A trade-off from 7, but he's quickly taken care of as well, and M80 have been able to infect B-site for enough time for Xander to commit to this plant with that security, literally doorkeeping outside of Garage Link. And so now it's a re-extension for M80 that they might have to execute, especially if net's cleared. But Nismo on flank watch means that no one from TSM can provide that surprise factor, and so with 2 rifles in an extremely fragile position, TSM will once again opt to save.
And knowing full well that M80 have had such dominant attacking rounds, it's possibly worth now using this time to start the conversation for attack pause. What do? You've made it this far. You're well within range of stringing together rounds and converting this to a series win against M80, your first ever. Koala looking to farm for the Blade Storm. Chooses not to overextend. It's not like their economy is in perfect condition either. So far, they've yet to meet competition. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, definitely celebrate those kills. Both these teams have been celebrating everything. I think the LATAM and Brazil teams have made them nice and loud by this time in the tournament. They've been getting more and more colored as things have gone on.
Yeah, it's like how we get loud.
Oh my god.
We're just
You're
like the
so
team.
Right. Wow.
Right.
We're just like the pro. We're just like the pros.
I'm practically Koala noob already. Nah, dude, if I had a percentage of the mechanical that like Xander or Koala has, I'd probably still be casting, to be honest. It's stressful, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these players could just do so much, right?
I'd be selling overpriced coaching sessions. I wouldn't be on this.
Oh.
No way.
Oh, but speaking of which, though, coaches are coming in, looking to see. They have very much done so much for both of these teams, though.
So much. They've been so important. Happy especially has been so instrumental to M80's rise, especially this split. Just the way he's been able to polish up all of these mechanics from M80. They look like such a well-adjusted... I mean, they look like a VCT team at this stage. They look already so ready.
I mean, depending on how things go from here, especially in playoffs, M80 are very much prepared to enter into VCT. And TSM, they've certainly made this rise back. They're only 1 round behind now from M80. They were a team that not a lot of us really expected to make it out of Challengers into Ascension. Other teams had looked so good stage 1 and into stage 2 and fell apart when it mattered most. Bye's not looking great for TSM. Fault line set up and ready though. Is this going to be the Russian that's hoped for? There's 3 stacks on scene, not a lot of info found. Koala's movement is incredible!
Yeah, such a great bamboozle, but can the rest of M80 get in as easily with the aftershock maybe finally? But it's still a bit of a tough fight as Koala has been taken care of. The rest of this lane is still a battle that needs to be won. And so an Owl Drone is sacrificed, Nismo will probably have to get traded off of, and a lot of counter-checking has to get done. Unless he can just spray through the Radianite, Nismo, easy kill onto Poised, and just check by shooting. That's an easy way for M80 to grab their 4th consecutive attack round.
But the real strat change needs to come out this next round from TSM. A simple hold with Sheriffs definitely can't illuminate a whole lot. There was a great read, though, from TSM's side, knowing full well that the fast entry should be on C. But standing directly in the lane of the fault line and not able to convert that opening shot in Koala to stall out the movement definitely hurt quite a bit.
It's a big part of shutting down those attacks is just making sure Koala Noob doesn't get inside, because either he'll get a kill or he'll make you fight him long enough for somebody else to kill you. It is There is no in between. Either we shut down our Koala Noob or we lose the round. And so far, Koala Noob having a field day. Will get sprayed and prayed though, down to 5 HP. This Odin already finding massive purchase this round.
Important to note though, Poise not investing any breach utility, opting to keep it hidden. Could very well line up the fault line here for B main to stifle any aggressive push there. Odin didn't find much value outside of A main, did stifle, I suppose, a little bit outside of Koala, but right now, this next push is everything. Owl drone inside of Garage, the split push has been called. Poise never using that utility.
Oh God, and the blind! How does he get another one there? The blind from Xander is so perfect! What insane timing from this squad!
Last player
So beyond practice, and everyone finds their shots as well. They can do everything, and then they can win the fight against you. 7 whimpering with this Odin in hand, trying to give TSM some sort of solace this round. But if M80 have their way, TSM will continue to escape with nothing.
It's the same op dilemma that you have a lot of the times with Jets. You want to go for the retake, but because it's so hard to find that value within weapons sometimes, the Odin has the case a little bit easier. But you don't want to lose such an expensive weapon just like the op. You're almost forcing your team to go into these 4v5 retakes at best. It's the investment that's so expensive. It ends up costing defensive teams rounds. Oh, I will never get used to that.
Dinner and a show here at Ascension Americas.
I wish we had, like, Halloween masks with the really blown up foreheads of the agents.
Oh yeah, like big head mode? Like
Yeah.
in that basketball game? Yeah.
Kind of, but like the stretched out, like the view we just saw. You know, you have like a little mesh face mask over it. You go
What if
dance
we
around.
made every character Wide Joy, and you just had Wide Joy hitboxes?
Dude, I miss Wide Joy.
Don't we all? M80. Once again, the streak continues. How much does it hurt to have to say
Three
GG
more.
go next after like 5 seconds of this fight being down? M80 finishing rounds before they're even halfway done. Trying to catch 7 early on with this Odin. They can't find the window, but they can find control of lane very early on in the round.
Important to note, too, pressuring out this Odin. Already identified. The Owl drone gone. Koala, backside control. Could be a 3K.
Tough position for Sim to take, so forward, upward, especially when 7 is taken over. Koala Noob, once again, it's his time to shine for 2 deep, and Gimon stalled away for BCJ to get the trade off. And again, M80 trivialized the round. Is there even a chance for TSM to make it here? It takes such a perfect incursion, and it takes M80, let's be honest, missing their shots, which they refuse to do this half. The smokes will dissipate. TSM, with so few opportunities remaining, it seems like they just have to go for this one, but Poised won't even have the time to question. It is all signs pointing to M80 on this half, and it will once more. Oh, let's go take down a Proto, shall we? Wow.
Not much of Proto could do.
Nismo literally says, step back, I've got this for that one. That's the confidence that M80 have right now.
I mean, this has been a brilliant series for Nismo. Every single map, even the initial loss on map 1, was still a lot of impactful rounds off of Nismo's utility alone. But the step up, the ace in map 2, and just overall the breach conversions here, M80 are back in style once more. So it's curious to see now. M80 only need a few more rounds to essentially seal the fate of TSM in Ascension. Still, though, I can feel the tenseness of the coach. I don't blame you. I'm tense, too. Well, 4 stacks outside of A.
Oh!
This is huge, but the stall off of the stun.
That's such a massive stun. Sim, the
Sim?
rush into lobby for 2! And this is the proactivity that TSM were trying to enact for so long this half. But it takes a friggin' neon ult to get it done.
Even
2.
eating up the breach util,
Yeah.
ensuring to win those opening fights.
Okay, spray to kill 7.
Yeah, remember, you have the 2 best multi-kill sprayers in America left alive on M80. Anything's possible. Well, Except maybe getting the spike.
Well, yeah, this trapwire makes it so we can't do our best calm impression completely. But M80 do have a couple options to play with this. 40 seconds on the clock. You've got 2 nano swarms and you've got a recon bolt. So you can play for intel, maybe flush out one end of the spike's angle, and then take a fight in 2 pieces. But you've got to do dry clearing up until spike, and that's why a proto's held early up here in Link. First swing is net, and it's missed. Timing favors M80, at least the first go-around.
Playing for safety there, not giving a body advantage. By the time you get to spike, the time is over.
It's got to be done. No way you can get it in a proto. On the second step, we'll swing in and grab the remaining 2. TSM, finally, stabilization.
Stable for how much longer? Call for that round was the flood utility and go for a 4-stack to use Sim's ult. You're not going to rely on that every round. A lot of that too was based on just, again, both teams having mutually assured breach util to freeze each other in place and go for a very nice stun kill in the beginning. There's too many variables there for consistency to have that happen again. Now it looks like this could be a fake this time with the opener from M80. Where is Nismo's utility going to go? Is he going to use that early fault line on A? The answer is no. There's that early smoke. It's going to drive away the Odin. Pressure's still out on C, though. A jump peek in B from net. Confirms there's not much of a presence there, but they do shoot out the tripwire. Pressure's out now. How much utility is there? 7. Has the Odin. 100 Fury available. And M80, though, have to be very careful. If they give away an outlier, a straggler away, they're going to give up Neural Theft to a Proto.
Refusing to give up space, but also refusing to take it for this time being.
Oh no. Net has to play this so carefully. There's an inkling of an idea about this C execute. And now Net can push in.
He's going to be able to take the door at least, and M80 is going to be able to take the lane. Ballsy TP from GMD to make it over to the pedestal, especially when you still have a Rolling Thunder in your kit. Yeah, sorry, buddy, you're absolutely not surviving this. M80 scurry onto site. A Proto's only good for the 1, and Net can easily assist with the crunch. But with Spike still on the way, Sim has some time to at least go for a little bit of wiggling, and with the Hunter's Fury still available, the fight is not nearly close to done. VCJ will actually go down here as 7 has 1 more left in the tank to keep this fight rolling. 13 seconds to go, and M80 need to make the call. Xander will be able to stick the plant, and TSM will have to stay away. Aftershock just a little bit late. Xander staying up, but going where? Having the smoke held down and playing from the blocks. Koala Noob the only one in lane. Xander, the rotation good for 1 early. And now 2v2, Net strains position, Koala Noob impeccable, offshot, M80, 4 rounds of match point to continue their undefeated run here at Ascension.
One more. One more is all that's needed. And TSM, their early calls have been so good on this defense, but M80 just remains unmatched. They have looked so good on these attacking rounds all throughout this tournament. If I recall correctly, this is a map that the team has not lost this year. I think the last time they did was last Ascension. Oh, but this is it. The real test. The pressure on the line now, TSM. 4 rounds behind. Need OT again. 7. An instant kill against Net. Could be the miracle that's needed for this team to stay in Ascension. If they can just keep getting picks like this and roll it on. Double tripwire setup back of A site. Purposely meant to catch out Koala Noob on the fast entry.
So I'm M80 uncertain of how much of the site is available. Xander going to be the one to soft clear it. And they'll just slow walk onto site. To see if there's util, they will hear this wire. Koala Noob.
He's going to go up.
This is a great call. Letting go of that. Off over to Xander. They can take the alternate angle. There's the rush down from Koala Noob. 7 is gone. Sim seconds late. The Rolling Thunder in response. And Sim now ready to fight, ready to play, ready to spray. 2 gone for the rest of TSM to drop in and take over 3v1 with such little HP. They still need to guarantee Xander's position because that man has an operator and he knows how to use it, except when he's flashed. TSM get to 9. So close though, man.
Oh. Pressure's now on for M80. They're already good for playoffs. But for TSM, this is everything for their careers. This is the farthest any of them have made it. And they have a great chance of making it forward so they can just keep going for these heroics again. It should have been over there. 7 falling. The Odin removed. But then Sim picks it up and through the smoke gets a beautiful double kill. Blind through the smokes. And it was all off of that miraculous opening pick against Nat. Starting things off 4v5. Once again, magic needs to happen for TSM. And Op invested alongside the Odin.
With the Odin, this is such a crazy investment in a lane. M80 not touching that with a 10-foot pole in the early stages of round number 22. Instead, the insertion onto Garage is geared towards Koala and and BCJ. And it looks to be another sequence. The speed of this has got to be unfettered with how much of TSM is already stacked here. Koala Noob cannot be found. And GMD, not necessarily looking for him. Cyber caged out, has to go for the early post, and that's actually more prepared for Koala Noob. Silent, but alone, he falls.
But look at this. Sim staying on A in case there's a reroute back over. He's gonna flank with the off.
Oh, Proto, nice shot back. M80, it's looking like it has to be more committal than ever at this stage. And GMD, he has to find his way out. Nismo, the shutdown, and suddenly the resurgence for M80 this round, making it possible as always. And it's Nismo at the front of the pack. Now with the lesser health as well, that means he'll be the sacrificial lamb onto whoever has to fight it first. It's 7. Up and Odin ready to take back over. Now it's just BCJ. First timing is good on to 7, and Sim doesn't have the operator to hold on to it. BCJ, easiest fight to give M80 yet another victory here in Ascension.
Oh, you could see the idea toying in his head, the flank back around C-Long with the operator to help seal the deal, but a shorty at the end. TSM, the best match they have ever fought. If they can continue to play like this into next year, they will be at the top of the brackets. But M80, there's a reason why they remain undefeated. Their adaptability, the way they can connect and talk to each other, the ways that they want to stay undefeated in their individual heroics. They want playoffs, but most importantly, they want VCT.
They want it so bad. Their hunger aching, and they refuse to let history repeat itself. First with their first loss against Brazil's 1 seed in the Union. They have had no trouble against Galeries, and tomorrow's game against 2Game looks to be an easy one for an M80 that is continuing to just thrive. Second fault was that matchup against the 2nd seed in NA, a little team called the Guard. Whew. We have cleaned up all of our mistakes so far, Keg. M80 looks the best they ever have, and I don't know if it's ever had the same magnitude for any team saying that kind of thing after all of the stuff that they've been through.
Look, ever since bringing in Net, M80's remained undefeated through the entirety of their stages of Challengers and so far Ascension. They are the team that wants to ascend, but they'll have to make it through playoffs still and of course make it through the next few days. But they're looking great. But can you believe there's still a whole lot more of Ascension to come? We are so thankful to have such close, amazing games so far, but it's not over yet. Of course, that is it for us today, but we still have an amazing desk. But first, before all that, we also have a break too. So don't go anywhere. We have more amazing stuff coming up.
That is the win that goes once again the way of M80, and it continues to be the same thing over and over again. You sweat a little bit, you get scared if you're on the side of M80. Wait, is it gonna happen? Are they gonna lose? And don't worry, every single time they're fine, Roy. They continue to get these wins, and they continue to look like they're able to answer in those crucial moments more than any other team that we have in Ascension.
Yeah, and I think that is M80's true strength, is that no matter what level individually they're performing at, they still have this reliable playstyle that just proves over and over and over that it is just consistent. There's a lot of layers to their team play as well. It's not just like set plays. There's just so many different looks and so many different just styles that they can implement at any given time that makes them such a strong opponent.
This has been the best matchup that we've had between M80 and TSM
Yes.
for sure. And it makes so much sense. You know what's at stake to make it to playoffs, to continue having this Ascension run for both of the teams. And it was a heartbreak for sure on the side of TSM. You see the faces of frustration towards the end. But it's an M80 that were just the better team one more time, Emily, and they deserved that win. They deserve to continue to be undefeated in this tournament.
Yes, they played so well in that last map and won their post plants 8-9 compared to TSM 6-11, and also got a thrifty, which is a huge round for them, especially when you're looking at their clutches 0-2 comparison. TSM, though, they were fired up all the way towards the end. They were still going on. They never gave up, and hats off to them because I just felt like they played so well today, but just didn't come through and just finish it off towards the end. But GMD just played well throughout the entire day. 17-12 as Omen for his team. But then we look at M80, and M80, I mean, Xander has been doing so well throughout the whole day. He got multiple 3Ks, even a few rounds where he got 4Ks, which really helped save his team. But Koala Noob on the Jet, they had a really cool play that I liked that they did with Koala Noob, doing a breach stun in the heaven. Yeah, and getting heaven control. And that was so cool to see. They still lost the round, but either way, they were doing what we said they were going to do. Just overwhelm TSM, because I just didn't feel like they did what we said they needed to do by baiting out the util from M80. They just had too much in their pockets, Roy.
Yeah, and I also think that M80 did an incredibly good job at finding these openers, right? Like Koala had a lot of first bloods, first kills, but he also, so did Net. Net got so many of those on the completely opposing end of the map. So there's a lot of success happening for M80 on both sides, and then you tack on the clutches, then you tack on the the thrifty, and it's just like, okay, that's a lot going in favor of M80 to kind of edge their way out to that finish line.
We've had those past couple matches for M80 where they've been honest, and we saw it on social media, about not performing their best individually. But I think throughout the series, we got to see every single one of those players have their moments, look really good, Roy. And I think that's amazing because you can see how the team continues to evolve as the tournament goes on. And I mean, they're already the favorite, they're already the undefeated team, and they already have all these pieces that are working so well together. It seems like a dream come true, and it seems like their chances for Ascension, even if they're their favorites, their chances keep going higher and higher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to jump the gun, but I'm pretty sure they've guaranteed their spot in playoffs at this point. Their record is immaculate. They're one of the only undefeated, if not the only undefeated team in the league. And I mean, they at this point is just like prep for playoffs.
Is prepping for everything that is to come, and that is something that they've been so good at doing. And on the other side, though, Emily, for TSM, it's a little shaky. We don't know what's gonna happen. They're 1-3, just like Aloris. They can get that last win. They have that chance to get one more win to put them in 2-3. But then it's gonna depend on results from everybody else. What's for sure, though, is that they need to get that next win.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they can control, is just focusing on that next win, and then after that, just praying and hoping and wishing that the other opponents lose the matches that are required in order for them to move on. But I'm confident TSM is going to pull through the next day.
Yeah, we're confident in TSM and what they're able to do. But this is it for this match of M80 and TSM. We're going to have an interview after this break, and when we come back, we'll close out the day and tell you everything about tomorrow.
guys, I'm here with Sander. The first question that I want to ask is, how are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. I mean, another win, another day, so I can't really complain. Although the games are tight and we're losing maps, we are winning the series, so nothing to complain about.
So, you guys are already in playoffs, and who would you like to confront in your first match?
Honestly, any of the teams are fine. I feel like I do want a rematch against All Knights. I feel like they are the best team we've played so far. Obviously, we haven't played 2 games yet, so we have to decide. I have to decide after we play them. But All Knights is really fun to play and really enjoyable, and they're very nice guys. So I would say All Knights.
Great. The second question: who do you think is going to classify for playoffs?
I'm unsure, honestly. I mean, I think All Knights and Reda are all very good. I think 2 game, 2 game is not qualified already, but I could be wrong about that. I'm unsure, honestly, but I think those 3 are very, very good. Obviously, we've just defeated TSM, and I'm unsure if Galleries can even make it at the right now, but for sure, though, the Reda and the All Knights are for sure the teams I want to see in playoffs.
Great. The last question that I have for you is that until now, as an IGL, which was the most difficult and the most easy match for you to IGL?
Honestly, all matches are very difficult to IGL against. Like, all the teams are very, very talented here. If I'm completely honest, I didn't expect the skill level to be this high. I think everybody here is insanely talented. It's very difficult to call against every single team. Every single team has different styles, and I have to adjust accordingly, and I couldn't give you an answer on that, honestly.
Okay, thank you very much, Sander. So, guys, it's all for today. But tomorrow we have 3 more matches, so just remember to come back tomorrow here. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you so much, Valina and Xander. It's always great to hear from the GOAT, honestly. He has been doing so good this tournament. He's feeling pretty confident. I like also the input that he gave us on the teams that he's feel like have been the best teams, including All Knights and Reta that he really wants to see in playoffs. But we don't really know still who's going to make it to playoffs. It's going to be so interesting to see how that's going to play out tomorrow, because everything is going to get sorted tomorrow. And we get to see also how this ended up shaping after today. We had the regional matches, Emily, and we got to see all of the number 1 seeds take those wins.
Yeah, M80 over there, still strong, 4-0, so they're secured in the playoffs. They have nothing to worry about for tomorrow. Absolutely no worries at all. But there's some matches that are interesting, I think, for Galores, right? They need a few conditions to happen in order for them to be able to move on. Because remember, guys, only 4 teams out of the 6 teams from group get to move forward to playoffs.
It's only 4 of them, and the ones that are the most on the verge of elimination, Roy, is obviously TSM and Galores. They're 1 and 3. Everybody else haven't been able to secure 2 wins. But if TSM or Galores they get their second win tomorrow, then things can get really messy.
Yeah, and I think things will get messy because 2 Game has to play M80 tomorrow, and obviously they are the strongest team in the tournament so far. So it's very likely that they will end in a 2-3, and in that case, we're probably going to see a multi-team tie, and it's really going to come down to round differential, which is super interesting because it's kind of rare in a 5-round round robin to have the last day matter so much, where literally every single game matters. Every single round you can get matters now.
And in the meantime, M80, they're chilling. They're fine. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
They're 4-0. Not one team has been able to take them down. And Xander talked a little bit about it I mean, it's not ideal that we've been losing a couple of these maps, a couple of these crucial rounds, but they're still winning. So, I mean, can't be complaining about that. Now, you hinted a little bit on what is going to be tomorrow. Let's take a look at the schedule, because once again, we're going to have 3 matches tomorrow for the last day of our group stage. And Emily is going to be Reta taking down Galore. Then 2 Game taking down M80, and then for the last match of the day is going to be All Knights against TSM.
Yeah, this first opener match for tomorrow is going to be a fun one because Galores needs this win. Absolutely needs this win in order to have any sort of chance at all. So they're going to be playing with their hearts out here. And then again, like I was saying, M80 there, it's probably no pressure match for them. But 2G has stuff to prove still, right? You want to beat the team that's not had a lost series yet. So that could be meaning a lot for the 2G team.
Which of these matches, Roy, are you looking forward to the most? I gotta say, for me, is the last one. I'm so excited for that All Knights TSM.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I actually think that Reta versus Galores is going to be really good as well, because stylistically, they're very similar. They play at a very similar pace. They have a very similar team structure and dynamic, and I think that matchup between the LATAM #1 seed and the Brazilian #1 seed is going to be super interesting.
Is going to be continuing to fight, continuing to see who's going to make it to playoffs, who's going to get eliminated, which is going to be a heartbreak for the teams that we're going to have to say goodbye to tomorrow. But this is everything that we have for today. We already hyped you up about all the matches that you need to be watching tomorrow because it's going to be a do or die for all of these teams. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
constant